Simple and clean.
Hi everybody, welcome to Professor DiMaggio's Gaming. What I'm going to be doing today is taking a look at, as part of my commentary series, some replays for a fellow Rashid player. And I'm going to be doing basically a replay breakdown. So as you can see in the background here, this is a fellow Rashid. The screen name for the player is Deben Fritters. And I'm going to be looking at some of his clips. I watched like 8 of his video clip or matches, and this video is really just going to look at 4 of them for sake of timeliness, and then I'll do a second part of the series where I look at the other ones. But just to give you some of my background here, I became a master player with Rashid after about 6 months of this game. When I first became a master, I was at about the equivalent today of probably 1200, 1300 MR, like most people are when they first become master. Now I have a sort of floor when I play ranked of about 1500 to a ceiling of around 1600. So I'm basically right in that range, well above average to, high master. So this is something that people should just keep in mind because, when I do commentaries on people's matches, if you're above 1600 MR, there's probably not much you're going to be able to learn from me because you're doing it better. But for anybody below that, I believe for everybody, it's good to have a second set of eyes looking at your replays to help you see things you may not see. So just to give you a sense of my background here, I'm a professor by trade, by my job. So I just view it as my primary goal to help people, instruct people in any way that I can. And so that's part of what motivates me with these kinds of games. If you want me to look at your matches, please feel free to leave a comment in this video or future commentary videos, letting me know what your screen name is, and I'll be happy to take a look at it. My goal, first and foremost, just to let people know, is to always build people up, focus heavily and first and foremost on what you're doing right, and then try to help you figure out how to make what you're doing even better by giving constructive criticism. So yeah, that's really sort of the goal here. Deben Fritters, his screen name, just to give you some context here, he's a really strong player. I've played him before in custom rooms and elsewhere in casuals. And he's like between like 14 to 1500 MR, this player right now. Really good fundamentals. I would say, because people have gotten so much better at the game over time, that a 14 to 1500 MR player today is probably more like 15 to 1600 when the game first came out. So he's got really good fundamentals, and less than 500 hours in the game, made it to master with Rashid, which is really good and excellent. And he plays across many characters, so obviously he's balancing between this character and others. But we'll be taking a look at the Rashid matchup here. So the first of 4 matches we're going to be looking at is Rashid against a Master Ed. And I'll just be running commentary sort of throughout. It's a pretty good start with some basic zoning. As Rashid, typically it's common here to use the crouching medium kick, as you saw, to try and do corner carry. So he's stuck in the corner, crouching medium kick into whatever buttons you like after drive rush cancel. In this case, medium punch, heavy punch, medium eagle spike, right? It's a good carry toward the corner, right? And yeah, and then you can do more pressure after, as he's doing here. What could have been done a little bit different right here is, so you've got the charge shot, right? After the medium eagle spike. This is not technically medium, but it's still very good pressure. I like to do this at times. If the person doesn't know that they can jump here, then yeah, you should just do it. So the player, did a medium, crouching medium punch here into another medium, but the rest of the combo didn't finish. So, if we were to look at this sort of in the lab, as you can see here, if you do the charge shot, it's actually interesting here. As you can see after this, that you're +2. You're +2 if they block your enhanced light mixer. And so if you're going to be really conservative, what you could do here is you could just do a light punch light mixer and to try and go for a throw. But increasingly, I'm of the mind that you should actually try to do more. So what this player is doing is actually really good here. Demon Fritters going for the crouching medium or a standing medium, because if you're plus and you go for that button, even if you trade, you're still plus. So as you can see here in the lab, checking this out, you can trade with the crouching medium or standing medium punch, and the next hit is actually meaty, right? Trade, hit, meaty. And so you can do target combo right there, into, if you just want some sort of basic damage, you can do target combo after the trade into the heavy cyclone, and then you can push back and kick and shoot yourself forward and push heavy kick in the air, and you're going to get a 24% damage there. Now, I think it's pretty clear that the player, Demon Fritters, knows that that's the case. I think he just missed his input. It happens. Because later on in these matches that I'm reviewing, he does hit it in a future match. If you want to go beyond just the simple trade for the meterless combo, as you see, that I just did, you can actually do the trade into the target combo, into the EX Cyclone, and then do the run forward into the kicks, into a medium mixer, and then to a level 1 if you want. And you'll spend the meter, right? And the level 1, but you'll get 34% damage. So this is one of those things where there's really no disadvantage to pushing for a better combo instead of just pushing, let's say, jab, pushing a medium punch and trying to get a really big combo damage because you're plus there. And the trade means you're still plus. Okay, continuing with the match. See a little bit of zoning here, sort of back and forth. Good jump in kick combo, real good. That attempted meaty is a really good one. The whiffing on the standing light kick into the cartwheel, into the throw. The person, maybe they knew it was coming, they throw teched, but that's actually a really good meaty setup. Even better in the corner than mid-screen, because if they back rise, then it doesn't work. But still a good meaty nonetheless, especially in the corner. Good jump in combo damage. That's actually, for people who don't know, after the medium spike, you can do 1-1- and try to push a button like a medium punch or a throw, and that's meaty too. So that's a really good thing to do. Okay. So we got some more zoning here. Jump in, some pressure, another crouching medium into corner carry, which is real good. And so you can see there, that's in the corner, right? As I was saying, if you do the standing light kick into cartwheel into throw, like, people aren't going to be able to back rise out of that. This person in particular, I think, knows about this meaty, this Master Ed, so he jumps out of it. But it's still a good meaty. I mean, there's obviously a counter to everything. Okay, so our player is trying to get out of the corner with a drive impact. Nothing wrong with that. This is actually a really good sequence. If they're at about half life, which they were, doing the drive impact into, heavy punch after the drive impact, right? If you land it, heavy punch, drive rush, crouching heavy, standing heavy, drive rush again, crouching heavy, standing heavy, light eagle spike into level 3. So yeah, you'll get around 50% damage for this. Definitely a good round ender cash out combo. And as you can see with our player, they just needed one more hit after to finish it out. Okay, second round is with a Master DJ, 1350 MR approximately, looks like. Let's see what we come up with here. Get the DJ jumping in at first, some footsies back and forth. Another good crouching medium kick into corner carry. Same meaty setup as the previous video in terms of after the medium spike. Okay. So what you'll first see here is that the player does the charge shot, right here, into the EX spike, hits on it, then does the light shot at the end, misses it. I think it's just a button input error. I think what you want to do here, as I show for anybody who is interested after an EX spike, you can do a number of things. I think probably the best damage, as you can see here on the replay, would be just to do a light eagle spike the other direction, which you can juggle with and gives you good damage. Or alternatively, you can do, after the EX spike, you can do a heavy mixer, and that works too. Okay, some more basic footsies, some corner carry. One thing you want to be careful of with these crouching medium punch or medium kick combos is that they're really good in terms of corner carry. They're really scaled back in terms of damage. So you're going to get about 20% from these. I don't actually like to use them more than maybe once per round, if I even do that, because the thing is, once you use one, especially if you already lost a lot of your bar, you're already close to burning out. So if you do more than one, there's a very real chance that you'll burn yourself out in a match, as the player did. So this is one of those things where you just want to be aware of. Like, it's totally normal as people are getting to master, sort of figuring out how to best manage your meter resources in terms of not burning out with these crouching medium punch combos. So yeah, just something to always keep in mind. It's something that people get better at over time. Okay, so it looks like this round's coming pretty close to an end. Our player busts to level 2, which is definitely good because this round is still within winning, right? And a really good shimmy there, actually. So you can push forward with the enhanced power of the level 2, right? With the level 1, with the mixer. And then you can do what this player does, which is a little shimmy into the heavy punch, which is great. I mean, that's fantastic. So the shimmy is really powerful when you get up to master level in terms of giving an advantage. Decent response here in terms of the slide forward, in terms of doing the jump heavy kick. This just happens. Like, sometimes the matches get sweaty and people miss on connecting on the rest of their combo. It happens to me even. Sometimes with Rashid, a lot of the time, actually, his light eagle spike on combo doesn't come out for some reason if you don't push it exactly right, because it's kind of finicky. So it's technically, maybe it just didn't come out in this case. It does happen all the time to people. But the optimal here would be meterless, as you can see on the replay if we're redoing it. Jump, heavy kick, hard punch, medium eagle spike is your combo, right? And that'll give you a really good corner carry. You could also do, as you see there, if you want to make it a little spicier, you could do jumping heavy kick, heavy punch, EX spike into a light eagle spike. And if you have a level 3, you could do a level 3 after the after the light spike, or after the EX spike, if you could do like a level 1 or a level 3 there too immediately after. So any of those would be pretty good here. Continuing with the match. Good anti-air from the DJ. Our player got pushed to the corner. See how they get out. Good pressure trying to get out. Sometimes you just get stuck in the corner, though. This game's pretty hard to get out of the corner. So some good pressure there with the charge shot into the light mixer enhanced to push him back. Really good. He's moving back. I assume he was probably going to try and do another charge shot. We got another crouching medium kick combo, which is good to push out of the corner. Yeah, another charge shot into the light mixer, into the standing medium kick, into the light eagle spike, which is a really good combo sequence. You get some good damage off that light eagle spike, and you can also cancel into a level 3 after if you have it. So it was a good match for our player. Looks like he won that one with the DJ. We're going to be moving on to look at a Mai. Mai is sort of the bane of my existence when I play this game. I've never seen people get so much out of so little in terms of screwing with people based on the charge fan and the EX fans and just spamming them over and over. So she's a tough customer in terms of playing against. Let's see how it goes. Some basic footsies and pressure here at the beginning. Nice throw. Nice pressure off the throw. That's actually really good. If you do the reverse throw like that, they can't back rise out of the drive rush forward heavy kick. So our player, Demon Fritters here, very wisely did a reverse throw into the dry rush forward heavy kick, and if they block that, you can go for, even though it's not plus at this point, you got to push something, right? You can push a jab, standing jab, and it will be plus, or if you want to get a little saucy, you can go for a throw. If you think the person's gonna keep blocking, right, you got to do something, and so he goes for the throw and he gets it, which is real good. Some basic zoning here, back and forth. Nice throw tech from the other player, and nice anti-air perfect parry. Although you want to be careful not to do those too much because it can get really predictable in terms of people just empty jumping in and throwing you. He's got out of the corner, which is good. Nice shimmy there. This happens sometimes where people will do a shimmy, and for whatever reason, like they might try and do more after, and it just doesn't come out, or maybe you weren't ready to do more. It happens to me, it happens to everybody, I think. Unless you're like 2000 MR or something and you're just hitting on everything you always do. But technically the optimal here, if you do hit somebody on shimmy with a heavy punch, would look like heavy punch into heavy cyclone on the punish combo, into the roll, into heavy mixer, which is going to get you about 30% damage. So looking at like a replay and redoing this with the full damage, that's not what happened in the match, but if we're doing this on replay, this is what you would want to do to have your round ender there. That sequence gets you about 30% damage and would finish the round. So back to the round. You got pressure with the level 2. It cut back a little bit there, but here's the level 2. One thing I'll talk about in a future video is that this Mai jumped back. This is very common when people see Rashid charging his wind shot or a level 2, they start jumping back. And so if you know that somebody's going to jump back, what you can actually do is just go straight into an EX mixer, because you know, if you know that they like to jump, that way, you can actually get your combo started. And so that's something that I'll talk about a little bit more in a future replay. Good pressure here, though. Good pressure in the corner. It can be really frustrating when you pressure somebody like this and you don't get anything. So it's good that our player got the throw at the end. Especially if you go through a whole level 2 and you don't get anything. So that's the end of the round. We'll see what's going on in round 2 here. Good start. I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like there was a trade with the drive rush crouching light kick. Sometimes you can just tell that somebody's doing it right. That's like one of the fastest things you could do there, right? Drive rush, crouching light kick. So if you're going to go for a drive rush from the very beginning of the match, I mean, obviously you can't anticipate there's going to be a trade, but that's really the best drive rush you could do probably there. Let's go for that low. And, if you actually hit on it and there's not a trade, then you can take him to the corner with that alone. So looks like it went the other way after the trade. Our player's in the corner trying to break his way out, dealing with anti-airs. Sometimes, if you feel like you're not going to be able to get out, like this player is trying to get out for a while here, if you have to go to burnout and go do an EX mixer, yeah, I mean, do it if you've tried other stuff and you can't get out, because at this point, he's about halfway. Half of his health is gone, and if you're going to get out, now's the time to do it. Even if you're on burnout, at least you got a chance then on the way out if you can bust your way out. So sometimes, doing YOLO stuff like on Wake Up, doing an EX mixer is perfectly fine, and even ideal and called for if you've been trying other stuff. It doesn't make you a YOLO player. It just means that you're trying to salvage a round here. This is actually the bane of my and pretty much every other Rashid's existence. When you start doing a charge shot here, and the person sees you're doing the charge shot on Wake Up, and they jump over and they punish your ass. Really annoying as a Rashid. There's actually a way around this. The way to do it, if you want to be careful, is to do one of a few things. You can either only do the heavy charge shot after you do a drive reversal, because if they jump forward without back rising, they will jump right into it. You can also, after throw, do a heavy charge shot, and if they don't back rise and they jump forward, they will jump right into it. So that's actually, you want to be really careful and intentional with this stuff, because if you're not like really careful with when you do these charge shots, people will bull rush you and they'll just jump over and they'll punish you for big damage, because jump heavy kicks in this, as you can see here, you're going to get a lot of damage off of that, and corner carry. So like those are two of the best times to do it, after a drive reversal or after a throw. And if people are jump happy, then they'll get caught. Or if you're just sort of in the neutral and you want to, throw out a couple heavy shots without charging, people who are jump happy will oftentimes, because of the great curve of the heavy shot, they will jump right into it, and then you can do all types of juggle combos off of that too. So our player is in the corner trying to get out here. I think he ends up losing this round. See where it goes with round 3. Good parry, good block for the EX fan into the drive rush. What's going on here? Okay, so if you got to cross up into a medium kick, then you do a couple jabs into a light mixer. It's actually not bad. Not bad pressure. It's safe. I think people like fall back on this stuff as new master players and as you're climbing rank before master, because it's a relatively easy thing to do after a jump heavy kick or a cross up medium kick. You just do a couple jabs into a light mixer and maybe go for a throw, or as we can see here, our player tried to go for a shimmy here, which is really good. Even if you don't get the shimmy there, kudos for trying. That's great. But what could you do here if you wanted to sort of play this back and I take control of it? If you were doing the cross up medium kick, technically much better damage, and this is something you just got to do more, and you get more comfortable doing this kind of stuff and doing optimal stuff rather than just the simplest, easiest, lowest hanging fruit. But yeah, so what the player did was really good, but this is even more ideal if you do the cross up medium kick into target combo, which is medium punch heavy kick, right? And then they get launched up. You can do an EX cyclone into the run kicks into a medium mixer. And if you want, you can finish it off with a level 1. And you're talking about around 34, 35%, or 30 plus percent damage for that. So back to the match. And that's actually such a big deal if you look at that, because, not only do you get the extra damage, but then you take them to the corner. Now they're in the corner. So that's why it would be more ideal than just the shorter little combo that was done there. Okay, so our player's gotten pushed back a little bit. It's common with Mai. She's sort of relentless in her pressure. Can be really frustrating and annoying in terms of playing against her, because she's such a top-tier character. She may be the best character in the game. She's got an air throw. She's got everything, really. I can't think of anything she doesn't have in terms of effective pressure. Really good drive rush here into overhead, especially if players really like to crouch block a lot, like this player's doing right now. That's a really good read on the part of our player. You want to be careful with this, because, if people like to spam buttons, they're going to jab you out of this, because it's a really, really, really long setup for the drive rush into forward heavy punch. So typically, like, the best time to do this is after a medium mixer combo finisher. You can drive rush into the forward and heavy punch. Or if you do a drive impact and you do jump heavy kick after into standing heavy kick into medium mixer, and you juggle them into the air, you can also drive rush there into the overhead. So that's really the best time to do it. I wouldn't say it's wrong to do it where this player did it. You just got to be careful that, the risk versus reward. If somebody's crouch blocking, the risk may be worth it to go for the overhead, unless they like to spam buttons. But he hit it, which is good. And do a nice combo there into the rolling nail. So that's real good. Looks like Amari had some good luck in terms of connecting on a crouching medium attack into drive rush cancel into a super. And so what are you going to do? That stuff happens. Okay, so final match of the night is a Master Cami I'm going to be looking at. This Cami is a High Master 1600, so you expect on average, if there's like 200 MR point difference between two players, that you're probably going to lose more often than not for those matchups. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. You get some footsies, basic back and forth here to start off the match. Some pressure here. right there, that's actually really good. It looks like a small thing, right? Like Cammy's going into her, whatever it's called, her aerial roll move. I forget what it's called, if it's a hooligan or whatever it is. And what our player does is they do just a simple jab, right? Yeah, it's not a lot of damage, but why it's so good is that, you basically shut down what could be a round difference maker if she throws you from that roll or does some other hit and do a big combo and then takes you to the corner. So like it's something as simple as like a jab sometimes doesn't really look like a lot in terms of damage, but it can really change the momentum of a match and keep you from being taken to the corner with something like that. So knowing the exact time to push a button is really important in terms of labbing out your matchups. And that's obviously, if you're going to go after Cammy on that attack, like the time to do it is before the attack lands with a jab. Okay, if we were to look at a replay there, and I was to take control, we could say, what could you do more than a jab? This is something to just think about. Anytime you have a character who can do more than just a jab and do an actual combo, at some point as you move forward into master play, you want to try and get more comfortable, even if it's just in the lab, and then you'll start to see it in regular matches, like connecting on more of into an actual combo than just, the standing jab. So the standing jab's really good, but if you can get more damage, even better. So in this case, you could do that standing jab, right, as she's coming in with her roll, and then you can follow that up with a forward medium punch, cancel, into a light or medium eagle spike, and you'll get some decent damage there for that. Or you can, as you can see here, if you want to make it simpler, you could do an EX mixer, or just do a regular heavy mixer as an anti-air. Any of these work. Any of these are potentially good. Or a crouching medium punch even as an anti-air for the roll-in and then jump and do more pressure. Any of these are good responses to this attack from Cammy. Okay, back to the actual match. We can see Cammy's been picking on our player, which again is not surprising when you look at 1600 plus MR. It takes a while to get up to that level and to refine your skills as a player. Moving into round 2. Some good footsies back and forth here. And so you can see, like, the as I was saying, the momentum change here, like from that rolling attack into more pressure in the corner. Like, it can make a really big difference in turning the tide in a round if you're not prepared to respond to these things, or if you just miss the response. They can keep using it, right? They'll see that there's a weakness there. So in this situation, right, when you get the roll, again, you can do an anti-air. You can actually do, if you're fast enough, you can do juggle combos in the air, which is kind of cool. Jump forward, because they're so close here, right? They're so close here in terms of coming at you that it's an ideal distance for you to jump yourself into the forward medium punch, right? And then into the light sky high in the air. And then into if you're close enough, right, for these juggles, you can do a standing, or not a standing, but a heavy kick in the air. This is actually going to net you around, just for that little sequence there, around 18 to 20% damage. So that's why it's such a big deal, right? It changes the momentum of a match if you were to do that, as you can see here on the replay. If you were to do this instead and be ready for it, jump forward into the combo. Now they're in the corner after an 18% damage combo, and you can harass them more. Okay, moving back to the actual match. Some good pressure here from our player in terms of the crouching medium, pushing him to the corner. Trying it a second time here, mixing up with some overheads. That was actually really good. It doesn't look like a lot because it's just a couple hits, but that medium kick standing combos into itself, so it shows really good awareness from our player that they know that this aerial rolling move Cammy has, you just want to push a button first to stop it, and this is a good response to the 2 medium kicks. Nice throw tech by the Cammy. Some good pressure from the Rashid. See, that's how you can tell that this player knows what he's doing with regards to the pressure on this. I mentioned earlier that there was a crouching medium punch into a target combo, but he lands it here, so obviously he's aware that this is a good trade combo on pressure. If they block, and you can go for more pressure after the light. After the light enhanced mixer here, right? You can go into more pressure with crouching or standing medium punch and do another medium punch target combo, EX Cyclone. And then he goes into the EX mixer, which is really good. You know, and into probably what looks like it's a medium sky high into a jumping medium punch into the level 3, which is great. Great combo. If you are concerned here with not burning out, what you can do as an alternative, if you hit them with the other moves, since you already did the EX Cyclone, you can just do... Well, let's see. Yeah, he's got the EX Cyclone and then the burnouts on the EX Mixer. So, yeah, if you had more drive meter there, you wouldn't want to do an EX Sky High because then you would just burn through. And you don't need it. Like, as you can see here from what the player is doing, the medium Sky High over there into the medium punch, you don't need extra meter there to go into the level 3 anyway. So this is actually a really good finisher. Even if he's burning out, he's really going for it and pushing the person to the corner. And you want to sort of take your chances here because the Cammy's only got a little bit of health left. So, you know, it's a calculated risk. You don't want to burn yourself out, but if you're going to get that kind of pressure and take him to the corner and do a level 3, and then you can finish him off like that with just one hit, it's probably worth it. I would have made the same decision too. Okay, moving into the final round. Got some footsies trading back and forth, some pressure. Good double medium kick combo there on punish. Good pressure with the standing heavy kick, as you can see that our player's doing. You want to abuse that to not a ton, but to a significant extent in neutral and in footsies. Okay, so the Cammy here is going for dive kick, right? As you can see there. What can you do with that? There's another EX dive kick. I'll take it over on actual controls here, as you can see. And that can actually be interrupted too, like the other rolling aerial move that she has, whatever the hell it's called. I don't play Cammy, so I don't know. But I know that it's vulnerable, right? So whether it's like an EX or a regular dive kick here, if you push fast enough, you can push that jab into forward medium punch into light spike. And so, you know, all of those aerial moves can be interrupted. Good push out there with the X Mixer, trying to salvage the round. That's one thing you don't want to do. I've made this mistake more times than I can count. When the Cammy has a level 3, this thing goes across the whole level. It's so oppressive and unfair if you're playing against. You don't want, and like I said, I make this mistake too. I've made it plenty of times. You don't want to do a charge shot here because once they see the charge shot, they know. They're buffering the level 3, and all you have to do is give them that excuse to do it. So this is something Rashid's just learned. Be careful with your charge shots. Be careful when you do them. And definitely don't do them if the person has a level 3 stored up, because they're going to pretty much do it against you. They're level 3 every time. And then that's almost round over at that point. Although there's a lot more health in this round, so... Well, here it is. As you can see, the clip went back a little bit, but... You know, our player still got quite a bit of health, but... really more like less than a quarter and burnt out. So, yeah. You don't want to do the charge shot if they've got a level 3. It just means more pressure for you after, and that's sort of the end of it. So, we're going to take a look at a few more matches from this player, Demon Fritters, in the next video. I really like a lot of what I saw here. We picked a couple wins, a couple losses, focused on a lot of the strengths, and then focused on what could be done even better. And that's what I want to do for these future commentaries. For anybody who feels like they need help, if you're not a master player, if you're lower than that and you want help and you want me to look at your replays, let me know and share your screen name in the comments. Otherwise, you know, if you're a master player between 1200 and less than 1600 MR, let me know too. If you want me to take a look, if there's anything I can do to help you out in terms of another set of eyes, and I'll be happy to do commentary for you too. Otherwise, thanks for watching and see you on the next one.